Welcome back to Democracy 3 with Onion Graces 4, CivilOnion, Daniel. Depends how you know me. Any will do. We're returning to government. And the Human Rights Society is actively encouraging its members to oppose the current government. That's not so good. The threat levels still aren't that high, so you don't have to worry too much. But it's still not ideal. Anyway, we have a child labour law to deal with. Too many whippersnappers are leaving school early to take up pretty crappy jobs. The law would make it a criminal offence to knowingly employ someone under 16 for more than 5 hours a week. If we criminalise it, capitalists again hate it. I'm not entirely sure what youths think about it. But I know parents will like it, almost certainly. If we leave it unchanged, capitalists will like it, parents will hate it. The other problem as well is that there could be a potential for crime might get away in here somehow. We're going to leave the law unchanged for the simple reason that I know we're trying to obsess over environmentalists. They probably won't care too much, so we're just not going to change anything. By the way, BB is an absolutely awful credit score for a country, especially one this big. Credit rating of BB means you've got a big interest rate, 4 1/3. I believe the interest rate can get down to below 2% if you're AAA. And notice how the US's debt just went up and up and up. It's that blue graph. Anything that's kind of faded out is before we started the game. But it is historically accurate at the very least. Our income, notice, went up immediately because I taxed the crap out of people. Ideally, you spend the first 2 years fixing stuff and earning money, and then you spend the next 2 years trying to get yourself back in power. It's the way I generally go. The poor liked whatever we just did. The debt protection law. That's what they like. Because we said the debt protection law should protect people, the poor love us for it. Homelessness, though, is really pissing off poor people. And it's caused by unemployment, which is in itself caused by the GDP, which is a bit bizarre. The GDP being really good, I would have thought would make it better. Because there'd be more jobs. Unless the GDP is down the Swanee right now. No, it isn't. Anywho, we're not worrying about homelessness too much right now. We're concentrating on getting little Johnny get his health better. Pollution is dropping very slowly. The environment is still crap. Air travel is causing problems. Why is air travel happening so much? Mostly due to the GDP being high. The middle income people actually being taxed to crap means that they're not travelling as much on the air. International trade is high. And that is creating more money, but at the same time, it's really causing us problems. So it might actually be worth cutting down on international trade a bit. But at the same time, that would mean less money, which means people would earn less, which means they're going to be unhappy because they're being taxed so much. Can you see how this is complicated? I don't think we have to touch that right now. What we do need to do is, I think farmers in the US get subsidised. And I cannot remember for the life of me which section that goes in. So give me a moment to quickly pan out. I think that's the biofuel subsidy. I think it's a similar symbol to the one in the top left there. Might be wrong. It's not food stamps. It's not elderly benefit. That's a really weird looking, or very weird sounding firework that's gone off in the background. I'll be curious to see if the microphone picks it up. I cannot remember what the button for it is. It might not even be on. I'm looking for a thing that doesn't even exist. We can't actually raise petrol tax, which would be one way of getting car usage way down. Notice how angry the motorists get when you max that. There's actually a big issue you get if you tax petrol too high for too long. Not going to spoil what that is, but it can cause an astronomical problem. But we can't afford to do that right now. Anyway, so what we're going to try and do is try and get the Liberals a bit happier so they don't try and kill us. The abortion law, bizarrely, in limited circumstances, is liked by both the religious and the liberals, which almost never happens. We can't improve... Well, I say improve. We can't change that yet either. I don't really know why liberals don't like... this is what I don't get. Surely a liberal, a person that likes freedom, would appreciate the fact that both are taught. I suppose they're probably disappointed that they don't have their preference done, but to me, I would have said at least liberals wouldn't be bothered by that. This game disagrees. Might be a balance thing as well. Anyway, we need to improve liberals' moods. So let's see what we have immediately available to us. Legal aid will improve this, and I think that's the way to go, because that makes everybody happier. If you can get equality up, that's really important as well. You can actually get a really big boon out of making your equality go up, and that makes poor people earn more money, so they're less likely to be homeless. No, we don't want to change that right now. This tends to be pretty good though. Actually, I might push that all the way. I think technology grants are probably the best thing in this game, because it makes your people more often employed. It means you get better technology, so you can keep technological advantage. It means your GDP generally stays reasonable. Productivity goes up. Capitalists love it, which usually they hate most things I do. And it means there are less religious people. And I don't mind them in real life before people get on my case. But in this game, the religious tend to cause problems. Do I want to change that? Oh wow, you can really go up there, and capitalists can really get quite frustrated. That's a very good way to improve the environment, but I don't want to completely kill my GDP in the process. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and find a piece of legislation that improves our health. So let's have a look. We have a few options. Some of them, like the carpooling campaign, are not popular whatsoever. Fuel efficiency I like. I don't think capitalists like it, if memory serves. I don't think that's quite the right one. Telecommuting, sorry, I can't speak, is pretty popular. Because self-employed people will like it. I actually think that's really good. The funny thing is, commuters like it, but you get less commuters, which I actually think is quite funny. But parents love it and trade unionists love it as well, and I don't think they're particularly happy. Yeah, those two factions really don't like me. But parents in this game just hate fast cars, drugs, and little Johnny having problems with his asthma. They also don't like guns, for obvious reasons. But notice how expensive it is to change anything on guns. You need 40 capital to raise it. So going from no machine guns all the way up to total ban, which basically means patriots will come beat you up. On the flip side, parents love you for it, but it does decrease liberals and their opinion of you, so it's very dangerous. I would personally argue that that's probably best where it is. I think jury trial, yeah, that's another thing that really is impossible to cause problems with. It just means liberals like you more the more you spend. So we're going to do that, and we're going to end our turn. Oh, we have a superhero. News stations are buzzing with reports that a caped man has been seen fighting crime in our cities. I was about to say countries. That would make no sense. So what that does is it means crime and violent crime at least temporarily go down. As you can see, crime has a downward arrow next to it. The economy is doing well. Our vote is still terrible, but that's okay. The Human Rights Society is actually getting more in membership. That surprises me. The Church of Christ, though, hasn't got any real threat, so that's good. They like to... they won't assassinate you, but they're the people that if you get too many of them start becoming religious extremists that will assassinate you. Our technological advantage, I suspect, is probably going to get even higher. as I switch to a more evolution-focused educational system, but I'm not going to worry about that too much right now. Popularity is actually going up despite the fact we're taxing the crap out of people, which is interesting. And nobody hates us too much. But we haven't really dealt with any major issue yet. Internet crime is always a problem. Almost without fail, because if you go to fix internet crime, liberals, which already hate the US, hate you even more, and they become extremists and kill you, so you have to be very patient. Skill shortages caused by education being crap, but our education is actually pretty good. It's not too bad. Now what we can do is just improve the colleges. Unfortunately, socialists do not like this because it means that some people get an unfair advantage over others. So is there another way to go about it? Socialists can actually be very frustrating. They love government-run things, but they don't like anything other than the basics, so they can start causing problems. They don't like private schools either, but capitalists don't like state schools. Can you see how they're diametrically opposed? Technology, what else can I do? The space program, I don't think they hate. No, they don't. Actually, nobody hates this. So that's probably the way to go. The only problem is that technology only improves very slowly. It takes 16 turns, 4 years. And religious membership only fully drops after 5. Although unemployment does drop immediately, so that's good. And patriots absolutely love it. I always find when you're playing the US that patriots are the easiest people to impress. Because they love everything about the US. Like they do in real life. You know, America and all that. So you can usually piss them off a bit before they start getting really uppity. We're going to try and get some more health as well. I don't have that many points left, but we're going to try and get some there. Let's have a look. I can't remember if this is good or not. Yes, it just drops off. Yeah, that's what I wanted to find in the first place, but I was unsure, so I didn't pick it. That's a good way of making alcohol consumption drop without really angering everybody. Because one way you can really, really stop people drinking, which makes them more productive, is... Let me just find it. I actually don't think they have an alcohol tax, do they, in the USA when they start off? Yeah, there's the alcohol tax. And the alcohol tax... There it is, we can't afford to implement it, but the alcohol tax can earn you an absolute crap ton of money, but it is incredibly unpopular, like really unpopular. And actually health food subsidies is a good idea. They're better than putting a tax on junk food in people's eyes because you're giving them an incentive to like healthy food rather than saying, you like food that's bad for you, piss off. Obviously that doesn't go down very well. It actually says it in the description, it's less punitive on the poor than a fat tax. It also makes the poor more rich because they can afford to spend less money on healthy food and thus they have more money to spend on other things. So it's pretty good all the way around. So let's go next turn. Return to government. We're up to 36% on the vote, so we're still going up, but we still wouldn't get voted back in. I wish when you clicked X on that it would go back to this page, not the main page, but okay. The human rights... Oh, everybody's membership dropped. That's brilliant. That means that people like me. And notice how the Patreon party has almost nobody in it. That's nice. Farmers like me as well. Actually, nobody really likes... Nobody really hates me at all. We are doing surprisingly well. Let's hope that didn't put the mockers on it. Anyway... We've still got a surplus. Our debt is still ridiculous, but we'll slowly chip away at it right now. Let me see. Foreign aid angers patriots, as I've already mentioned, but it really improves your relationship with ethnic minorities, liberals and socialists. And I need to stop pulling my earphone out of my ears by accident. It also means foreign relationships really go up. No, I don't want to confirm that. Which usually is a good thing. Usually. Having good foreign relations will give you more trade and immigration. So it's up to you. However, having really bad foreign relations actually means you get more patriots. So it can be problematic if you don't deal with it sensibly. Trade unionists don't like us because I suspect the US is pro-employee when it comes to labour laws. I can check that. Yeah, they're pro-employer, not employee. That would be good, wouldn't it? Yeah. Whereas you go pro-union and trade unions like you, but then obviously you have... That is such a problem. This is, I would argue, labour laws are one of the worst things to change. Because it's one of those things that angers a lot of people and makes happy a lot of people. And if you change the balance just on that one piece of legislation, you can usually swing things too far and cause problems. We're doing one little step at a time. Vigilante mobs are dropping, but they haven't dropped far enough. And the problem is, if we improve the armed police. Yeah, armed police, as you can tell, liberals hate you when you do that. It means crime really drops, but they hate you. Now, I think, might be wrong, I believe if you I don't know if the US has this in this game right now or not. I think it might. I'm trying to find gambling. I think they already have it in this game immediately off the bat. I'm guessing they probably do. Anyway, gambling I cannot find, but I know gambling, if you put it on very minimum, I think capitalists like it and it doesn't anger anybody. Might be wrong with that, but I will check in time. Yeah. I don't like the death penalty, but it's quite useful for me right now. So we're going to leave that be. Jury trial, like I said, just makes liberals really happy. The police force in general, I'm thinking about improving the size of. It's generally pretty good. The only problem is that it's really expensive, for one. And beyond that, well, actually it's not too bad. It does lower people. Now the weird thing about this is that by employing more police, those got hiccups. By employing more police, you get more state employees, but their income is worse because there's more of them. They have to split the same amount of money, so they're doing less hours. So we're gonna do that. But I'm worried about the fact we might have to increase a tax on something. We have a 3% petrol tax. I think that's the way to go. So what I will do, if we can't afford next turn to do it, I'm going to save those points and add them on. So we have genetically modified food we have to deal with in the question. I'm pretty certain in this question, no matter what you pick, farmers aren't fussed. Yeah, it says farmers are divided on the issue. If you ask me personally, do I like GM crops? I'm not entirely sure. Would I eat a GM crop? Probably. Would I go out of my way to get a GM crop? No. So take that for what it means. If you allow them, GM crops have huge potential benefits. They increase shelf life, reduce costs for sellers, so capitalists will like that. It's possible that environmentalists will like it. Maybe. It says if you ban them, it's good for the people that consume it. I'm going to allow them. I'm not, like I said, I don't really have much of an opinion either way, both in real life or in this game on that, so. Oh, ban same-sex marriage. We're going to allow that because we don't want the liberals to hate us. The Church of Christ is going to go up, especially now I've said that gay marriage is perfectly fine. So basically screw the religious on that front. And speaking of screwing, I'm going to screw doing any more video for right now. I'm going to end the video. If you like the video, subscribe, like, comment, like, you know, all the traditional rubbish. And I'll see you all next time. Peace.